I want to give a shout out to AV Watchman for letting me use his video. Him and AV news crew are working on this story, and it's a sad one, but it's something that I really felt compelled to share with you. It's only 7 minutes and 35 seconds long, so that's not too bad. So let's get him started.
Sir, can you tell me your name and spell it, please?
David Dosher, David-Doshier.
Matt from AV News Crew. He is going to be covering the story of Amanda Nicole. She was killed. She was raped back in 1988. I'm going to also be helping him cover this story as well. As you can see, execution ordered in child's death. Court's Palmdale man shows no emotion as he is sentenced in 1988. Rape and killing of his young goddaughter. This was his own goddaughter, and this sick, perverted, very evil, nasty person did the unthinkable. A San Fernando Superior Court judge Friday ordered a Palmdale man executed for sexually molesting and killing his 17-month-old granddaughter, rejecting last-minute defense motions for a new trial or a lesser sentence. Ricky Lee Earp, age 30, showed no emotion as Judge Ronald Cohen sentenced him to death for raping, sodomizing, and murdering Amanda Nicole Dosher in August of 1988. This is a very sick and disturbing case, and the family members to little Amanda Nicole, they need to get justice. This guy has still not been executed. Since 1988, this guy is still living on death row. Here is some of their story now.
And where are we at?
We're on Bedford Street in Palmdale, off 25th and S.
And why are we here, sir?
We are here today because today's my little sister's birthday, and she was raped and murdered in Palmdale in 1988 and never got no justice. And I would like to talk about why I was lied to, and why when I was younger they said that he would do 25 years and then get the death penalty, and the death penalty's never been carried out. Where do I get my closure in my life? I just want people to understand that, you know, this is my sister, and she needs to feel loved too. She needs people to love her too. Just like other people's families need to feel loved. So the point of this video is basically to help me and everybody else understand why the death penalty wasn't carried out. She's 34 years old today.
She's 34 today, and her name, if you don't mind, sir?
Her name is Amanda Nicole Dosher.
And this is actually the location where the tragic crime took place, correct?
Yes. I tried talking to people. I tried calling people. I got no answers. I just wish somebody could help me. Why can't I get help? Why can't somebody help me feel comfort? Help my family feel comfort? I'm a little lost, but I appreciate it. for you guys coming out.
And when did this crime take place?
1988, right here in Palmdale, off Avenue S and 25th Street.
And the individual's name that committed the crime?
Ricky E. Earp.
Ricky E. Herb, and he's currently incarcerated, correct?
Yes, San Quentin Death Row. That's it. I really don't have much to say because it's today, but maybe another day we could figure this out. I just know that she wants to feel loved, and she likes candles and balloons, and she never got a birthday card. So nobody's never done nothing for her.
She's 17 months old. Not only her godfather, but her grandfather did this to her. And that's one thing that I do believe in is the death penalty. Especially when it comes to children and they do things like this to children. I know there are a lot of people in prison that don't belong there. But if somebody does a crime like this to a child, period, whoever's child it is, should, if they plead guilty and they're guilty for sure, they don't need to go to jail. They don't need a trial. They need to be hung outside the courtroom in the street where everybody can see. Maybe that will deter some of this. But to live on death row with our tax money, we should have a say in this. We should have some kind of, hey, it's my tax money. I want to put it into schools, or I want to put it into this or to that. You know, I don't want to put it into these people that don't deserve to breathe air. I don't like confrontation. I don't like chaos. I don't like stress, but somebody that can do something like this to a child or even a grown person, because I guarantee you, if they were to let that man out, he'd keep doing it. And that baby probably wasn't the first one that he's done that to. I know all this is in my opinion, but a child molester does not stop. They are not curable. No matter what anybody tells you, they are not curable. They learn to be more sneaky, and they learn by their mistakes. And eventually, a child molester will eventually start to kill the children that he abuses. And the reason why is because he doesn't want to be caught. He doesn't want to be have a finger pointed at him or anything. So they just get more cunning. I know in the town that I'm in, we have a spare building that used to be a nursing home. And the government wanted to put a bunch of registered sex offenders in there, and I had a cow, and I didn't realize that there were a bunch of people in there when I was telling them that I know for a fact, and I'm not no counselor, I'm not no doctor, I have experience with child molesters. And they don't stop. They just get sneakier and sneakier. And they start with the children that are around them. Their nieces, nephews, their children, their own children, their own grandchildren. And I know this for a fact. For a fact. And they get where they learn to hide it. They tell one child, well, don't tell anybody, because if you do, I'll do it to your sister or your brother, you know. And generally, child molesters are men, most likely. Not always. There are some women that do that, which just blows my mind. How a woman that can bear a child and give life to this world could do that. That's what I don't understand. And I just think that as taxpayers, we should have the right to say what happens with our tax money. Look at all the money we're wasting on death row people. He's been on death row since 1988. This is 2021. And he's laying up there, eating free, you know, and it's not fair. It's not fair. That baby had no chance. That baby has had no life. And it's not supposed to be that way. It's not supposed to work that way. There are people that have been wrongfully accused of different things. But I feel like now that there's DNA and there's cameras everywhere, how come people are still committing crimes? Are they that stupid? Because you can't get away with crimes anymore. Eyewitness events, they're the worst in court. What the court wants is hardcore evidence. They want phone pings. They want receipts. They want DNA. And to me, this guy on here, bullets are cheap. And it'd only take one. Or we could just put them all in a big room and gas them like they did in World War II. Makes no difference to me, because people like that do not deserve to live amongst us. What about all these people? You're hearing about this right now that commit rapes and whatever else. They get out. They go back and they rape some more, and they go to jail. They get out, and then they start killing after they rape. So if I could change the laws, so much would be different. We need to give our tax money into the veterans, the elderly, the children, where it needs to be, where for good people, You know, do you ever wonder? I do. I wonder, how much more can God take from us? Because he's looking down at all his children, at what we're doing to each other. My son says, yeah, he's probably up there leaning back, eating a big old bowl of popcorn. And I said, yeah, and he's just biding his time. Because people are so evil. They're so mean to each other. And I just, it bothers me. I mean, I just, if you're on death row, they give you, even if it's like, they give you 30 days. And that, you know, hey, say your goodbyes to all your family. And get rid of them. And not lethal injection. That's too humane. They're just going to go to sleep and their heart's going to stop. What did he do to that little girl? What about the victims? That's what upsets me the most. Why should they get a needle in their arm when they've tortured somebody else? And all the mothers, how can a mother kill their kids? But it's going on all over the place. And if you don't believe that, watch the news. Watch the AFC. I watched Jay Sotomayor, and I can only watch so much. I remember years ago, he would have one show a week. And then it kind of went to 2 in one night. And now it's like 4, 5, and 6 in one night. Every night of the week. This gotta stop. And you can't blame it on drugs. You can't blame it on mental illness, because that's not what's doing it. It's just evil people. And they need to be stopped. And the only way to stop them is to stop letting them mooch off of the taxpayers' money. And then the prisons are probably thinking, oh yeah, but that'd take away all our jobs. Well, get out on the street and start patrolling. There's ways of fixing this stuff. And I don't know why they're not thinking. I mean, the world is changing, so the laws and stuff are going to have to start changing. And they say prisons are overcrowded. Let them out. Okay, how many has been let out and killed people? Just since COVID. Just since the last year. Happens all the time. But the crimes against children, the worst. Absolute worst. And all I can think of is the babies. All the babies. And I could probably name most of them. It would take a long time. And I don't want to take up that much of your time. But I do want to thank you for joining me and listening to AV's story. We've got to get this man put to death. And many others. People that are in there that have abused women over and over and over, and they keep getting out of jail, and they'll continue their cycle. They're not curable. They are not curable. They get worse and they start killing. And that can't happen. I love you guys. I appreciate you listening. And I want you to stay safe and take care. Bye-bye.